Hey, what's going on, everybody? Roast Battle League Commissioner Pat Barker here with another episode of RBL Weekly. We are in week 29 of the inaugural RBL season, with 5 weeks to go after this one, everybody fighting for those playoff spots, and we have some incredible battles to get to this week. 6 of them, to be exact. Our normal 5, and then we have a very special bonus battle, at the end of the episode that I'm really pumped to show you guys and talk about a little bit. Before we get to any of that, I will address my surroundings. I am currently in Las Vegas, Nevada. You might be thinking, oh, Skankfest. Yeah, that's where all the comedians are. And nope, not me. I am here because I took my wife to see Adele. That is how you win Husband of the Year. It just so happens that it was the same weekend as Skankfest. Not by design. I didn't mean to be here while everybody else is at Comedy Disneyland right around the corner. That being said, had a great time at Adele. If you ever have the chance to go see her, excellent. Her concert was frankly better than at least 2 of the battles you'll be seeing today. We have a great lineup in all seriousness. Some really exciting stuff with the season coming to a close, and you're going to see a lot of representation from teams who are playoff teams currently or are fighting for those spots. And let's start with one of those teams fighting for a spot. In the number 5 position this week, we have Tokyo. Tokyo battling for the second and final international playoff spot. They come into this week 5 points behind Scotland. They're going to pick up a point here for their number 5 battle and move a little bit closer with 5 weeks to go in the season. So closing the gap a little bit, but I get the feeling they're going to need a haymaker top 2, top 3 battle before the season ends if they are going to if they're going to take over Scotland and take that second playoff spot. Chipping away at this point in the season might be too little too late, but they have a fun battle this week. It's number 5. It features a guy I saw when I was out there judging by the name of Jeremiah Chinegwu. Very, very funny guy. He left, I believe he's part of the Navy, and he left on deployment. He recently came back and immediately got back into the mix and said, let me battle, and they put him up against Sam B. So Jeremiah versus Sam, number 5 this week. Here it is.
Sam looks like Steve Rogers if he never took the super serum.
All right. When I asked Jeremiah what his job was, he told me verbatim, in the Navy. In the Navy. Were you the one that got beat by the policeman or what? And wait a minute. If you're in the Navy and you're here tonight, who's raping everybody in Okinawa?
That was a good joke. Especially coming from somebody who has to warn his neighbors that he just moved into town. But I'll take it. It's all good. Sam's a really interesting guy. He's very sexually fluid. His favorite position is in the corner while somebody else fucks his wife.
Very well said. Wakanda forever.
That's what I say when I fucked his wife.
Give it up for Jeremiah. His ancestors were brought to the U.S. on slave boats, and, they were forced to work for the U.S. government, and it was horrible. And then, generations later, he's a free man, and so with his freedom, he chooses to work for the U.S. government on a boat. Jeremiah, you are making Black Lives sadder.
Solid. I do appreciate Sam talking about America because, Sam works at a brewery. He has an Asian wife. He's literally only a school shooting away from being every American ever. He's actually shot way more guns than me. Exclusively at children. Like his ancestors. In Japan. All right.
That might be true, but Mace Windu here prefers a lightsaber.
Mace Windu has more hair than you.
Oh, ouch, that's true, actually. But I just wanted to address the duck in the room. These amazing lips on this man here. I mean, with this eye-to-mouth ratio, you think he's about to chase down some Jedi and you shall go on an adventure!
It's interesting that Sam would talk about lips because he's had the same chapstick since he was 2. This was my father's chapstick, and his father's chapstick, and his father's chapstick. You know how long it takes Sam to cool down 1 spoon of soup? You'll run out of air first.
It's hot.
And it seems to me you lift your...
So, we talked a little bit before the show, and Jeremiah asked me about, he hasn't been in Japan that long, so he asked me about a Japanese phrase. It's called enryo no katamari. It means like, when Japanese people are eating something, it's the last piece of pizza or chicken that, no one's gonna touch. They're like, oh, I can't eat that. And so that's what they say. That's what they're meaning when Japanese people say slave auction enryo no katamari.
I don't know what that. Yeah. What the fuck did he just say?
Can I get a translation?
You're like a leftover at the auction.
Oh, okay, he's losing in English, so I figured he went to Japanese. So I didn't know what was going on. All right.
Any English teachers in here?
Swing and a miss. All right. I do like Sam. Sam is, I don't know if anybody ever played any old video games back in the day. Sam likes video games, which is amazing because he looks like every character in the video game Oregon Trail. You died of dysentery.
Churning lots of butter.
Because of Oregon Trail. I get it.
Oh, okay. Jeremiah's favorite movie is The Departed. I asked him why. He said it's because it reminds him of his dad.
You know what's wild is I do love that movie. It also reminds me of your hairline. Sam could comb his hair with a spork. It's not bad though, because he does have a lot of forehead. Honestly, he has more forehead than you can actually fit in a Japanese apartment. 6 families are going to move onto his forehead before the end of the night.
So there it is, the number 5 battle this week coming to us from Tokyo. Jeremiah Chinegwu versus Sam B. Great performance from Jeremiah. He is quickly solidifying himself as one of the favorites over in Tokyo and could be making a run at their title sooner rather than later. Jay Yamaki, the defending champ, successfully defended the title this past week. I know they're going to be looking for other challengers for him going forward, and I have to think Jeremiah will be at or near the top of that list. Okay, let's move stateside now for another team that is chasing a playoff spot. Chicago coming into this week in the number 3 position, only a few points behind New York, trying to put some points on the board to close that gap a little bit and eventually overtake them for the second playoff spot. And they had a really fun battle this week featuring someone that we saw a couple weeks ago on the podcast, Kaylee Horton, who killed her first RBL Weekly battle. And this one is no different. The return of Kaylee Horton going up against Hunter Hirsch. It is number 4 this week from Chicago. Here it is.
Hunter is one of my best friends. Hunter looks like an amalgamation of everyone I've ever told needs to zip their fly up. What I'm saying is he looks like all my creepy uncles, okay?
Not yet.
Oh, somebody odd.
Let's see. Kaylee's last name is Horton, like the elephant. You can tell because they have the same nose. If Kaylee was in a children's book, it would be called Horton Hears a Black Guy and Runs Away Screaming.
You guys don't know this, but Hunter is a jazz musician, and he is so dedicated that he has the same taste in music as he does in women. He prefers A minor.
That's not true.
Doesn't have to be, buddy.
I think I fucked your grandma once. I don't know.
Doris would love that.
She likes jazz. Let's see. Kaylee looks kind of like Harley Quinn discovered slam poetry. She looks like she teaches literature outside of a Spencer's Gifts.
I love Miles Davis. He's the best. Hunter, I feel like Hunter is kind of built like a tube of toothpaste. You think you could get one more squeeze out of this? That's what I think.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't know if you guys can tell this by looking at Kaylee, but she's not like the other girls.
It's true. I'm different.
She's not, because the other girls didn't fuck your dad.
I'll fuck your mom too, dude. I'll do it all. Hunter is trashy, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
He has a joke about his cousin fucking a dog.
Yeah.
Which was wild to me because I thought he and his cousin were exclusive.
Yeah, we had a whole big fight about it. It was. We don't talk anymore. Kaylee is my best friend, actually, but I'm not Kaylee's best friend because I am not Klonopin.
I wish I could argue with that. That's just a fact. Hunter is autistic, obviously. It's very obvious and clear. He is also dating an Asian woman, and I believe he's doing so because she has less eye for him to have to contact.
All right. Kaylee's mom is currently fucking a homeless person.
That's true.
And it's crazy how desperate Kaylee's mom is to relate to Kaylee.
Hunter, God, so funny. Hunter's so funny. Hunter's family owns plantation land. And he's obsessed with jazz because apparently no one in his family can stop stealing from black people.
This next one is not the right one to come back from that. I'm fat, but I'm not the fattest thing in this room because I'm not Kaylee's giant pussy.
Sorry, my genitals are bigger than yours, dude. Like, I don't know how to fix that shit. I think this is our last one, yeah? Last one. I told you, Hunter loves jazz. He loves jazz. And you know what? I believe that if he keeps going the route he's going, he is gonna end up like all of the jazz greats. Dead of a heroin overdose. I believe that.
I can only hope, you know. Kaylee's pussy is so giant. How giant is it? Kaylee's pussy is so huge when homeless dudes go down on her, she has to take their food stamps. I don't know.
Daddy likes.
Hated that.
So Chicago, I misspoke a moment ago when I said they came in a couple points back. Coming into this week, Chicago, 1 point behind New York. They pick up 2 points for that battle. So at least for momentarily, for the next few moments at least, Chicago is in possession of that second playoff spot. Will New York have a battle on the docket this week and overtake them and keep their number 2 position? We will find out. Next, though, we're going to go to the 4th team in the U.S. playoff race. I'm talking, of course, about Austin. Now, Austin, I want to make sure I get this right because I was wrong a minute ago on Chicago. So Austin comes into this week 2.5 points behind Chicago, 3.5 points behind New York, and they post the number 3 battle this week. So they're going to pick up 3. They're going to move from 46 to 49. Chicago is now at 50.5. Of course, we'll go over all this at the end of the episode, but let's just get into this battle right now. This features 2 people we have not seen on RBL Weekly yet. It comes from their most recent event at the Creek in the Cave, and it's a lot of fun. This is Celia Contreras versus Nick Vort. Here it is.
Nick looks like a Republican leprechaun, but instead of running when he runs away, he yells, "They're always after my civil rights."
I like it. I was trying to find dirt on Celia before this roast. I knew I was going to roast her, so I was Googling her name. Her name's actually Spanish. Celia is short for celiac disease. Shit. That's a disease where you eat too much bread.
So I don't have it, asshole. Fuck! You look like Conor McGregor if he was sponsored by Keebler.
Hey, fuck you guys, I thought you liked me. What's going on here? Celia, she told me she buys all of her shoes from Walmart, which is actually impressive considering they keep those things all the way in the back of the store.
I'm actually impressed. I didn't know you were allowed in Walmart. Alright, Nick's short, but not as short as the time his parents spent with him.
Hey, ow.
What the hell, I mean?
I'm just kidding, I'm kidding.
Do you want me to say it in your father's voice?
Jesus. Alright, I am jealous of Celia for one thing. You guys hear she's going on tour with Tony Hinchcliffe? Did they talk about that? Yeah, dude. Tony, you know, give it up for Celia. You're looking at Tony's new tour bus. Fuck you. Yeah, shit.
Nick, real talk, what hurts more, dying on stage or dying of dysentery on the Oregon Trail?
Damn it! So clever. God damn it. Alright, fuck it, dude. Celia looks like she takes smelling salts just so she can sit up out of her chair. Lightweight!
You said cocaine wrong. Let's see. This one sucks, but Nick's first baby blanket was a Confederate flag.
Last one.
It was. It's warm. So, which one do I do now? Shit! Alright. Well, Celia used to be homeless, which is unfortunate, and the money wasn't really the issues, the problem was the doorways. When Nick tries to make friends with black people, his opening line is, "My dad left when I was 5.
So number 3 this week comes to us from Austin, Celia Contreras, Nick Vort. Really fun stuff. I love those crowds at the Creek, which is ironic because I did South by Southwest at the Creek a couple years ago, and boy, did those crowds suck. And I had this vision of Austin crowds for the longest time, based on what is frankly a bunch of tech bros with $2,000 South by Southwest badges who are not a good comedy crowd, generally speaking. And then going to Austin so often this year and seeing these crowds at the Creek and everything like that, really just impressed and Jealous. I wish I could have gotten one of those when I battled at South by. But regardless, Nick and Celia, excellent battle. Number 3 this week, keeping Austin in the race. And within a point or so of New York, unless, of course, New York has a battle in the next 2. Guess what? Number 2 battle this week comes to us from New York. They did it. They held home court. They had the advantage coming in, and they posted the number 2 battle of the week. So they will extend their lead ever so slightly over Austin and Chicago, as we have 5 weeks left in the regular season, and those 2 cities are trying to catch them. The number 2 battle this week is a 3-rounder coming to us from the New York Comedy Club. This is Britt Miggs versus Sarah Barnett, and it's coming up right now. Check it out.
Oh my gosh. I know what you're all thinking, and yes, it is going to be hard to roast someone who looks just like me, but if my mom drank when she was pregnant.
Britt, you yassified Chucky doll. You look like the Little Mermaid if she sold ketamine to Brooklyn twinks.
I may look like the Little Mermaid, but only one of us has a pussy that smells like clam chowder, and it's not me. Sarah is a triplet. I can't believe your mom fucked a horse 3 times.
I just gotta say, Britt, you cannot come for my face when you paid for yours. See, Britt looks like her mom breastfed her 4 Loko and Ozempic.
She did, and look, it turned out nice. Sarah says that she got bangs to cover her forehead because she's insecure about how big it is. It's too bad you can't grow bangs to cover your underbite. I hated that.
That's 3 right there. Yeah. Give him a round of applause.
Wait, I didn't do mine. Sorry. It's all right. So Britt is a lot like traffic on the LIE because everyone from Long Island has been in her, and it was the worst part of their day.
Y'all gotta take the HOV lane, okay?
So, fun fact about Britt is that she's divorced, and she caught her husband sending nudes to a Russian bot.
This is all true.
Because, and I quote, the one he had at home was getting mouthy. Speaking of mouths, Britt, your lips look like they're trying to secede from your face. Britt's actually in like a healthy, loving, queer relationship right now because that'll show him. You look like you'll eat box until sucking dick is cool again. You see, in a way, Britt's pussy is a lot like Bushwick, Brooklyn, because it's way overhyped and every night it gets wrecked by a non-binary person.
That was so good. All right. Hey, I might be divorced, but at least I don't dress like it.
We're wearing the same outfit. I don't...
Okay. Sarah says she's really into woo-woo, self-improvement, manifestation shit. Then why are you still like that? Sarah is a Swiftie, shocker. The space between her eyes said, "We are never, ever, ever getting back together."
I like that one.
Just like Taylor Swift, Sarah's white, blonde, insufferable, and traumatizes every man she dates. Unlike Taylor, no one comes to her shows. Her mom hates her, and she's never been accused of being too skinny. Oh, someone booed, yeah. Sarah used to run social media for the University of Michigan and almost posted a nude to their Snapchat once. Thankfully, the app said piles of loose, pale skin violated its guidelines. Sarah lost her virginity in college on a frat house toilet.
That's also true.
Isn't that beautiful? Losing her virginity in the exact place her mother reluctantly gave birth to her. All right, Sarah and I are actually both from Long Island. We went to the same high school. Oh, sorry, no. She was just the picture my health teacher used to warn us about fetal alcohol syndrome. Oh, this is a roast battle.
I liked it. It was good. I know. So, Britt reminds me of Lindsay Lohan, but for her, a Freaky Friday would mean she got booked.
Sarah says she has a big crush on one of her coworkers. Sadly, the stable boys aren't allowed to fraternize with the horses.
All right. Great. All right, Britt went to the University of Central Florida, where students are known to be vapid, dumb, and drunk, but then Britt graduated. What am I gonna miss?
Speaking of Sarah's coworkers, Sarah has slept with multiple male comics. They love her because she's so easy. It's okay that they don't ask for consent. Yeah. The male comic judges hated that.
Britt actually has an Emmy, which is actually really cool. She got an Emmy from working on the Dr. Phil show, which makes sense because with those duck lips, of course you worked for a quack.
It was Dr. Oz, but same shit. Sarah wears a lot of pink, kind of like Barbie. Now, does the chlamydia come in the box or is it sold separately?
It's sold separately, depends on what Ken's been doing. Britt was, we're both from Long Island. She was homecoming queen and she was from a rich family, so when she was gangbanged by the football team, it was on 500 thread count sheets.
Sarah has had several eating disorders. God, it's a shame that you had bulimia and the stomach acid did not eat away at your teeth.
Wow. Wow, great job. Britt, you wouldn't know a good roast if you caught your husband sending one to a Russian bot.
That was our number 2 battle this week, Britt Miggs versus Sarah Barnett from New York. As you can see, very, very close and competitive week. These battles were sent out to a committee of people who weighed in and voted, and just personally, I had a lot of trouble deciphering between 1 and 4, and I would imagine that extended to the other voters as well. This is the cumulative score after everybody took a look. New York taking the number 2 spot, Austin in 3, Chicago in 4. The U.S. playoff race is heating up with the season coming to a close. We'll go over that in a minute, but now let's get to the number 1 battle, and it's pretty crazy, frankly, because, 2, 3, and 4 came to us from the States. A lot of people we've seen before on the show. Britt Miggs, of course, Kaylee Horton. I've heard a lot of great things about the 2 Austin battlers. It's our first time seeing them. But this number 1 battle comes to us from London and features 2 guys that I knew nothing about. And in the email when they sent the battle, they said, we want to shout out Timoteo Kiss Fritas. How's that for a name? Timoteo Kiss Fritas. It is his first battle ever, first time battling, and they sent it to me, and I'm not going to lie, when I read that, I said, this is probably going to be pretty bad. And then I watched the battle, and it is not. It is very, very good. Really pleasant surprise to see somebody who hasn't battled before come in this late in the season and just kill it like this. And his opponent was incredible too. This is Timoteo Kiss Fritas versus West Defo, and it's the number 1 battle this week from London. Here it is.
So this is Tim, and this is Tim's face. Now, Tim's face is, well, it's wrong. It's just wrong. Like, you know this. You know your face is wrong, don't you? It's almost as if his face couldn't decide on whether to look ethnic or racist. So it just ended up looking like the result of a plantation rape.
This well-worn paintbrush here is Wes Defo. Wes actually got married last week. His wife is Turkish, which means although he clearly doesn't need to go to Turkey for his hairline, it was the only place he could find a woman willing to marry him.
Yeah, she gets more pissy than you, bro. Anyway.
She's bragging about being cheated on.
No, I was there. I just watched. I'm lazy. Yeah, my girl's Turkish. Tim is Brazilian. Begging the question, what the fuck happened there? Apparently he left Brazil age 6. What happened? Did the angry mob finally catch up to you? Fucking ugly cunt. Alright. That's enough. That's enough. Stop it, you know. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it, Shrek. No.
This human chalk ice is Wes Defo. Wes is terrible at being black. He's really into a load of like really white things, like skating, pop punk, his wife.
Just jealous that you can't skate, you fat fuck. I mean, airtime you can catch is in a fucking DM. Right. So, Tim is a 6'4", classically trained pianist. He was... There is more. I thought that was a good thing. Times have changed. He was in 2 bands and also played American football in uni. Despite all of this, he remains a virgin. In fact, Tim, I don't even think having sex would stop you from remaining an incel. You've just got that vibe. Rape doesn't count. Too soon?
This is Wes Defo, aka the French Prince of Basildon. Wes was born in London, but his family moved into Essex at age 5. At least mine had the decency to take me from a third world country to a first world country.
They're from Essex, they don't know any better, mate. Alright. Tim looks like... Tim's face looks like it belongs in the sequel to the game Guess Who. The sequel was called Guess Where, as in, guess where I buried her body. Which is a trick question. He never buries the bodies. As you can see, Tim clearly doesn't waste food.
This budget Marcus Rashford. I give back. Wes claims he raps, sings, plays piano, bass, guitar, drums, and the triangle, which is just his nickname for his wife's bit. Yet despite all of this, his comedy is impressively tone deaf. Wes's usual comedy style is known as dark comedy. It's not actually particularly edgy, it's just known that way because he's black.
Yeah, man. I can't read a room, but at least I can read facial expressions, you autistic cunt. Do you know what this means? yeah, Tim is autistic, which, by the way, yuck. So maybe he's not actually 6'4", maybe he's just toe walking. Everyone knows the story of the princess and the frog. The princess kisses the frog and it turns into a handsome prince. Tim is what you get when a crack horse sucks off a toad.
Wes is the worst thing to happen to black people since the slave trade. In your face, sucker! Wes's dad is a carpenter and joiner. Clearly not a very good one, he couldn't join his eyes together. Wes is actually of Jamaican and Dominican descent, but the only wind rush he knows anything about is the tornado that's caused every time he breathes out of that big ass nose.
So there it is, the number one battle this week coming to us from London. Excellent work, Timoteo Kisfritas and Wes Defo. Putting on a show over there in England. Really, really enjoyed that battle. And for London, it extends their lead in the international division. It looks pretty safe bet that they are going to take the number one seed over across the pond. We're going to break all that down in a minute. And then after that, please, please, please stay tuned. I have a very special battle that we are going to show at the end here. But let's actually jump into the standings right now and get this out of the way and talk about it. So first we'll look at the international standings. London, as you can see, with their 5 points today, opens up a 10-point lead over Scotland with 5 weeks to go. I would say that that number one seed is looking pretty safe. None of these teams are officially eliminated yet, but I think in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see some E's start popping up next to the teams as they are officially eliminated from playoff contention. There are 3 teams I feel like who are still strongly in it at this point: London, Scotland, and Tokyo. Tokyo inching closer with the point. They have 2 more events before the RBL season ends. They are really going for it. Scotland is not up for another, I believe, 2 weeks. So if Tokyo has any opportunity to claw their way back into this thing, it is going to come by just pumping out as many battles as they can. I love the strategy. Let's see if it works. Over on the American side, the race is super tight at this point. LA, stagnant this week, still maintains their number one spot with a 7-point lead over New York, who is now up by 3 over Chicago. Austin, 4.5 points behind New York for that second playoff spot. Anything can happen there, and I'm looking forward to seeing what does. Okay, before we get out of here, this is a very special bonus battle, and I'm excited to show you guys this one, although it's not under ideal circumstances. I alluded before to the fact that I've gotten to go to Austin a lot this year. And one of the highlights of that has been seeing a comic by the name of Nick Roach, former Austin champion, brilliant roast writer. I had heard a lot about him before I ever went down there. And I got to see him battle, I believe, 3 or 4 times this year. And every time was just very impressed. There's a lot of things that make someone a great roast battler, and everybody has their own preferences, but I'm a pen guy. I like the writing. Nick wrote in a way that was always very impressive to me, because it's I think it's so difficult to pull off and do successfully, and he did it. He never settled for the easy jokes, never settled for the lazy premises, and always wrote really creative and fun and clever stuff. Unfortunately, Nick passed away last week. It's a devastating loss for the roast battle community, for Austin. I know they're feeling it down there. It's a very tight-knit group of friends down there that I've gotten to sort of witness firsthand, and I know it's a tough time for them. I wanted to pay tribute to Nick on this show and show a battle of his. And there was one battle where I was like, man, I wish we had filmed that one. When I first started going down there there was a battle at the Vulcan Gas Company, and I booked Nick versus John Ajota. At the time, Nick was the Austin champion, John was the New York champion. It was our first time with a champion versus champion battle in the history of Roast Battle. And it was I believe a midnight show, if not midnight, like 11 o'clock. It was super late. It was not an ideal crowd. And some of the battlers struggled a little bit. And we had a monster lineup too. We booked people from out of town. It was a sick lineup. And yet it felt like the crowd was a little bit sort of burnt out almost as soon as the show started. And Nick and John had to go last, and they absolutely crushed it. It was an amazing battle. And then afterwards, I asked who was filming, and everybody just kind of shrugged their shoulders. Nobody knew. And I thought, damn it, man, I would love to have that battle. And I was annoyed. And then with Nick's untimely passing, I was sad for many reasons, but one of them was, man, I wish we could show people that battle. And then earlier, this week, it turns out at least some of it was filmed. So certainly bittersweet, but I'm glad that we have the first 3 out of 5 jokes from that battle before the camera battery ran out. But I'm so grateful that we have it and we can show it to you guys, because it's absolutely incredible. And to me, it's indicative of the type of writer that Nick was, the type of comic that he was. He was great. He was a legend in the roast battle space, and he will be sorely missed. So to his fans, friends, family, very sorry for your loss. Rest in peace to Nick Roach. And we're going to leave you guys this week with part of a legendary battle from the Vulcan Gas Company. This is Nick Roach versus John Ajota. We'll see you guys next week on RBL Weekly.
All right. Doesn't this look like a battle over who gets to be president of the chess club? Nick and I are both actually from the tri-state area. I'm from New Jersey.
Hey!
Shut up. Yeah. I'm from Middlesex County, and Nick is from non-consensual sex county.
All right. John is biracial. His mom is Italian, and his dad was that cucumber from VeggieTales.
I'm biracial. That's legal up there. But
You roasted you guys.
Nick, before the roast, I messaged Nick. I asked him to send me a little bit of information about himself to prepare for the roast, and he just sent me his LinkedIn profile. But Nick studied German in college for no particular reason. He's got the haircut of a Nazi sympathizer and the face of a kid that took the short bus to Auschwitz.
A little longer next time, guys. John is half Indian. He looks like he can charm a snake out of a basket with Bitcoin advice.
Good one, level 20 flame wizard, but so we know Nick in 1943 would not have hidden Jews in his attic. But in 2023, he definitely hides women in his basement.
All right. John always looks like someone just told him to act natural.